Let me ask you something honest. How many times have you had a good streak, eating clean, hitting the gym, reading, staying consistent? And then out of nowhere, a few weeks pass and you are back to square one. Like nothing ever happened. That used to be me. Every single time. And for a long time, I thought it was a discipline problem. That I just wasn't cut out for it. But it wasn't a discipline problem. It was a foundation problem. And once I figured out what that actually meant, everything changed. I went from someone who couldn't stay consistent for more than a few weeks to someone who built the habits, the physique, the mindset, and eventually the money to live the life I actually wanted. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how, using 3 levels that almost nobody talks about in the right order. And here's the thing, there's one shift I made 2 years ago that made everything else stick. Not a habit, not a routine, one decision. I will tell you exactly what it was before the end of this video. If you clicked on this, I already know something about you. You've probably read Atomic Habits, or at least heard of it. You know the 1% rule. You know habits compound. You know all of this in theory, but for some reason, applying it in real life still feels like it doesn't stick the way it should. That's not because you are lazy, it's because nobody ever explained the full picture. Most people are taught the what, the habits, the routines, the systems, but they skip the why behind why those things even work. And without that, you are just collecting good advice that never lands. I have been on self-improvement since I was 22. I'm 33 now. And in those 11 years, I tried dropshipping, agency work, sales, you name it. And I failed every single time. Not because the business models were wrong, because the person behind them wasn't ready. This video is about fixing that, starting at the root. Here's what nobody wants to say out loud. The results you see in any area of your life, your physique, your income, your relationships, how you show up every day, all of it ties back to one thing, the person doing those things. That's you. Change the person and you change everything downstream. But most people try to change the results without ever touching the person. They download a new program, they buy a new course, they start a new routine, and 3 weeks later, same place. What I am about to show you isn't another list of habits. It's a layered system, built in the right order, that actually makes the habit stick. And it works because it starts where everything starts. Identity. Part 1. The self-improvement track. Identity first, everything else second. James Clear says it best in Atomic Habits. Every single habit you do is a vote for the person you want to become. Think about that for a second. If your goal is to become a disciplined, successful person and every day you wake up, you train, you read, you do the work, you're telling your brain over and over again, this is who I am. And eventually, your brain starts to believe it. It makes it real. But flip that around. Same goal, totally different daily behavior. Wasting time, procrastinating, saying you will start Monday, and your brain stops trusting you. You lose self-trust. And without self-trust, you can't build anything. So identity isn't something you declare. It's something you build. One action at a time. How you think creates how you feel. How you feel creates an emotion, and that emotion either pulls things towards you or pushes them away. Only think about what you want, not what you are trying to avoid. There are 4 areas where this identity work shows up: physical, mental, spiritual, financial. Most people work on the first 3 and completely ignore the 4th. That was me for years. I had the habits dialed, my physique was there, my mindset was solid, but money was the last piece and I had been avoiding it without even realizing. Part 2. The foundation. And this next part is where most people quietly give up. Not because it's hard, but because it feels too simple. Stay with me, because this is the part that actually makes everything else possible. A friend told me something once that I have never forgotten. He said, if you take care of the minutes, the hours take care of themselves. That's what the foundation is. It's taking care of the small things so consistently that your entire identity starts to shift without you forcing it. Reading, journaling, meditating, moving your body. These habits aren't going to make you rich on their own. I want to be really clear about that. Meditating is not going to put money in your account, but what those habits do is make you into the person who is capable of doing the things that will. I know this firsthand. When I finally started YouTube, I was able to keep going even when I had under 600 subscribers and the videos barely got any views. I didn't quit. And the only reason I didn't quit was because I had years of training myself to show up even when I didn't see results. Here's a question I ask the people I coach. If you can't show up consistently for your habits, for the small things, how do you expect to show up consistently for a business, for deep work, for the things that actually matter? How you do anything is how you do everything. That sentence is worth writing down. The basics are boring, I get it. Reading and meditating aren't exciting, but they are the foundation, and you cannot skip the foundation and expect the building to stand. Part 3. The advanced method. The 2% where it all comes together. This is the part most self-improvement content never gets to, because it requires everything we just talked about to already be in place. If you have been watching this long, you are exactly the person who's ready for it. Here's the one decision I made 2 years ago that changed everything. I stopped being compliant with the foundation. I had the habits, I had the discipline, I had the identity, and I had been sitting in that comfort zone, reading, training, feeling good about myself, without ever using any of it to actually build something. The 2% is where you take everything you have built in the 1%. The consistency, the focus, the discipline, and you funnel it into one thing: your business, your income, your craft. Whatever that is for you. That's when my life actually changed. Not when I started meditating, not when I read my 100th book. When I used that foundation as fuel and went all in on building something real, I started obsessing over my inputs. Every hour, every decision, how was my time actually being spent? Because every input creates an output, and if I'm putting in the same things every day, how do I expect a different result? I started investing in mentors, in coaches, in people who were already where I wanted to be. I stopped trying to figure everything out alone. You have heard of the self-made millionaire who loses everything and then gets it all back. That's not luck. That's because the system is inside them, the habits, the identity, the 2%. It's built into who they are. Take away the money and they just rebuild it. That's the goal. You don't want to be the guy who's jacked but broke. You don't want to be the guy who's rich but has no discipline and no health. Health, wealth, relationships. All three. That's what a good life actually looks like. Think about this, how your life actually looks like when this clicks. You wake up and you're not dreading the day. Your morning isn't something you're trying to survive. It's something you build on purpose. You're training, you're reading, you're working on something that's actually yours. And you have the time and the energy to do all of it because your income isn't depending on you showing up somewhere and trading hours for money. That's not a fantasy. That's what the 2% produces. I'm living it right now, and a year ago I wasn't. The difference wasn't talent, it wasn't luck, it was the system, built in the right order, applied consistently. But here's what I will say. You can't skip straight to that picture. The foundation has to come first. And that foundation starts with one question you need to answer for yourself before anything else will stick. If you're ready to stop just building habits and start using them to actually scale your income, click the link below and book a call. You will speak with us directly. If you are a good fit, I will show you exactly how we can start. Spots are limited and they go fast. Take action now. The link is in the description. And remember, a bad workout always beats a skipped one. Take care of yourself, stay consistent, and stay handsome. I will see you in the next one, and thank you for watching.